Kelly discovered something strange at her boyfriend's house. A group of thugs suddenly broke in. At that moment, they trapped her under the bed. Kelly didn't dare make a single sound. On the bed above, the gang's leader, Shane, was resting. It was obvious that Shane was seriously injured. As the others discussed how to deal with the situation, a flashlight accidentally fell to the ground. Kelly quickly shifted her position to avoid being spotted. But just 5 minutes earlier, Kelly had been spending time with her boyfriend, Mark. Suddenly, a noise came from downstairs. Mark grabbed a wooden stick and rushed down. Kelly immediately sensed something was wrong. Then a painful scream from Mark echoed upstairs. Panicked, Kelly's first thought was to escape, but the window was locked tight, leaving her nowhere to run. She had no choice but to crawl under the bed. Through the gang's conversation, she realized that Mark's entire family had already been taken hostage. Kelly's face was filled with despair. Soon after, the thugs split up to clean up the scene. They tied Mark and his mother, Lynn, to the bed, using them as leverage. They planned to force Doug, Mark's father, and a bank manager into robbing a bank for them. Now the only ones left in the room were Reg and the injured Shane. Kelly continued to wait silently under the bed, searching for the right moment. She watched Reg playing on the computer. Her eyes shifted toward a backpack on the floor nearby. Inside was a cell phone. She gripped a wooden stick beside her, ready to hook the backpack closer, but even though the phone was just within reach, the dragging sound of the bag was far too loud. Afraid Reg would notice, Kelly reluctantly gave up. When Reg became absorbed in his computer, Kelly cautiously stuck her head out to test the waters. Reg immediately turned his head toward her. Luckily, she had already ducked back under the bed, just as she was about to grab the phone to call for help. Another thug walked in. They worried Shane would lose too much blood, so they decided to adjust the bed to make things easier. Kelly instantly froze in panic. She closed her eyes, bracing for the worst. But then, the movement of the bed suddenly stopped. It turned out Reg had made a new discovery. He saw the family photos on the table and realized that Mark's mother was a doctor. He immediately brought Lynn over and demanded that she treat Shane's injuries. Meanwhile, under the bed, Kelly was racing against time, typing out a text message, but just as she was about to send it, her phone suddenly died and shut off. Kelly's eyes went blank. She was overwhelmed with despair. Lynn's watch suddenly slipped from her wrist and fell to the floor. She bent down and reached under the bed. That was when she discovered her son's girlfriend, Kelly, hiding there. Although she had never liked Kelly, at this moment, she could only place her hopes on her. Lynn demanded that the intruders prepare the necessary tools. She claimed she needed hot water in order to perform the surgery, but after a series of preparations, dawn was already breaking. The two intruders stood watch the entire time. Once the operation on Shane was complete, Lynn was taken back to her room. The criminals realized it was now time for the bank to open, so they took Mark's father, Doug, with them and set out for the bank. That left only Reg and Shane in the house. Meanwhile, Kelly remained hidden under the bed, waiting for the right moment. Just then, the gang members phoned in to check on things. Kelly seized the opportunity to make her move. She grabbed a small alarm clock nearby, while Reg was distracted on the phone. She set the alarm to ring in countdown mode. Then she carefully slid it toward the edge of the bed. Finally, she tossed the alarm clock into the corner of the bedroom. The alarm was seconds away from ringing. Reg's attention was fully fixed on the noise. Kelly used the distraction to slip away. Thankfully, she managed to escape without being caught. She continued moving carefully, tiptoeing her way down to the first-floor hall. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was the neighbor from across the street, but that knock could easily alert the intruders. Kelly had no choice but to quickly hide somewhere inside the house. At last, she found Mark and Lynn tied up under guard. She rushed to the drawer and searched for a pair of scissors. Just as she was about to cut their ropes, she heard the neighbor entering the house. Startled, Kelly darted into the bathroom to hide. Reg, hearing the commotion, came over to investigate. Kelly silently observed him from behind. The neighbor stumbled upon Reg and froze in confusion. Seconds later, he was struck down violently. Kelly was stunned at the sight. She realized she couldn't keep hiding forever. She tried to escape by opening the bathroom window, but at that very moment, Reg happened to step in to wash his hands. Kelly had no choice but to cling to the shower frame. Her arms trembled as she gripped the faucet handles, holding her entire weight. Staring into the mirror, Reg muttered to himself for a while. Then he finally left the bathroom and went straight to Mark and Lynn's room. Only then did Kelly dare to drop down, but Reg had another strange obsession. He enjoyed indulging in fine, savory meals, and at this exact moment, Kelly quietly arrived again. Looking at the window that led outside, Kelly shouted desperately for help, but outside, everything remained calm as if nothing was wrong. No matter how hard she screamed, it was useless. Meanwhile, down below, Reg had started his move. He dragged over a ladder and got his tools ready to break open the cabinet. Just as Kelly was beginning to feel the weight of despair, her eyes fell upon a crossbow lying nearby. Clinging to hope, she rushed to set it up, but once she finished assembling it, she realized there were no arrows. Downstairs, Reg quickly broke open the cabinet. When he climbed up into the attic, he looked around but found no trace of her. His eyes then landed on a sheet draped over something in the corner. He thought Kelly was hiding underneath it, but when he pulled it back, it was only a prop. And at that exact moment, Kelly had already leapt down from behind him. Kelly escaped and locked the attic entrance tight. Upstairs, Reg was furious beyond words. He could only call his teammates for help. Meanwhile, Kelly ran as fast as she could. She reached the bathroom, smashed the mirror with her fist, and wrapped a shard of glass in a towel. Then she rushed into another room and freed Mark, but just as they were about to escape the villa together, the other intruders suddenly returned home. Kelly quickly hid herself in the shadows. Seeing no way out, she realized she had to act alone. She crept carefully on the floor, inching forward. In the living room, two of the intruders were discussing their plan. They decided to lock all the doors and windows, capture Kelly, and then burn the entire place down. Kelly overheard their conversation. She hurried to the bedroom and began searching for the keys. After a frantic search, she finally found them, but just as the intruders rushed toward the sound, Kelly had already slipped out onto the outer wall by the window. To her dismay, someone was guarding the area below. Her escape attempt failed, and she was forced to retreat inside. By now, Reg had climbed down from the attic. They decided it was time to burn the house down immediately. They fetched several barrels of gasoline. Kelly overheard their plan. By then, she had already slipped back into the attic, and this time, she had found arrows for the crossbow. As the intruders poured gasoline all over the house, and one of them prepared to light a match, Kelly was already waiting for them in the attic. Kelly then picked up the crossbow. She was ready to take down the thugs one by one. She immediately pulled the trigger, but right after firing, Kelly froze in fear. The thug didn't collapse right away. Kelly rushed at him with all her strength. The thug's weapon slipped into the water. The two of them wrestled furiously in the water. Fortunately, the thug was already wounded. Kelly quickly gained the upper hand. She won the fight and retrieved the weapon from the water. Afterward, Kelly walked into the warehouse. She changed into a clean set of clothes. Then she spotted a car nearby, but when she opened the door, she was shocked. Mark's father, Doug, was still tied up inside. Kelly quickly untied him and set him free. Then she prepared to continue fighting the thugs on her own. While Reg was eating, Kelly deliberately tapped on the window. Reg had no idea what danger was about to hit him. When he opened the door and stepped outside, Kelly was already waiting. She struck without hesitation, but the blow wasn't fatal. Reg spun around and darted back into the house. Kelly rushed in right behind him, weapon in hand, ready to finish the job. That's when Doug quietly walked up from behind. It turned out Doug was the true mastermind. Using his position as a bank manager, he had colluded with the thugs, pretending to be a hostage. Together, they staged the heist to steal a massive fortune. At this point, Kelly collapsed on the floor, completely drained. Reg raised his weapon and aimed it at her, but Shane, with the last of his strength, saved Kelly's life. Having already accepted his fate, Shane passed away soon after. Kelly quickly grabbed the weapon from the ground and aimed it at Doug. Her heart was filled with confusion. What role did Mark's father really play in all this? Just as Kelly hesitated, Mark's mother, Lynn, walked in. Without a moment's doubt, she pulled the trigger on her husband. She never imagined that the entire plan had been orchestrated by him. Meanwhile, the flames inside the house grew stronger and stronger. In the end, Lynn recognized Kelly's courage and cleverness. Together, they stuffed the cash into the car. Then they drove away, ready to begin a brand new life.